Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. Tua Tagovailoa's Week 1 performance was supposed to be a statement, a declaration that the Miami Dolphins franchise quarterback had grown, matured, and was ready to lead this team deep into the season. Instead, what unfolded in Indianapolis was a collapse so complete that it laid bare every doubt critics and fans alike have harbored about Tagovailoa since the day he was drafted. This was not a bad game. It was a blueprint of all the reasons Miami cannot place its future on his shoulders. From the very first snap, Tagovailoa looked hesitant, almost paralyzed by the speed of the game. Simple reads that should have been automatic left him staring down defenders, waiting for something to materialize that never did. By the time his first interception landed in the hands of a Colts defender, any semblance of composure had evaporated. It wasn't just a turnover. It was a window into how this quarterback operates under pressure, how quickly uncertainty can overtake him, and how fragile his confidence truly is. He didn't just make mistakes. He made the kinds of mistakes that define careers, not games. Forcing throws into tight coverage, misreading basic coverages, and repeatedly failing to move the offense when it mattered most. Watching him play, you could see the hesitation in every motion. Every drop back, every glance downfield carried the weight of doubt, the shadow of indecision that has dogged his entire career. The pocket collapsed around him, and he collapsed with it. Where elite quarterbacks find solutions, improvise, and create plays out of nothing, Tagovailoa did the opposite. He folded. Plays that should have resulted in chunk gains ended with checkdowns, errant passes, or turnovers. Each possession felt like a microcosm of every game in which his potential was undermined by his execution. Miami has invested heavily in Tua. They've built offensive lines around him, acquired skill players to open the field, and hired coaching staffs tasked with molding him into the leader they believed he could become. And yet, after Sunday, it is painfully clear that the blueprint has failed. Tagovailoa's flaws are not new, nor are they the result of a single week or a single opponent. They are intrinsic to the way he plays. The hesitation in the pocket, the tendency to force throws when the pressure mounts, the inability to read defenses that disguise their intentions. These are not correctable with minor adjustments or a single offseason of coaching. They are structural, foundational weaknesses that define who he is as a quarterback. The narrative of growth, of overcoming, that Miami has clung to now seems almost tragically naive. Week 1 was supposed to be a showcase, a reset, an opportunity for redemption. Instead, it was a reminder. Drive after drive, Miami fans were forced to watch a quarterback shrink in real time, letting the moment pass by as opportunities slipped away. Short passes, poor reads, turnovers, each one a hammer blow to the hope that Tagovailoa could carry this team. By the fourth quarter, it wasn't just a game on the line. It was the trust of the fan base, the patience of the coaching staff, and the credibility of the franchise itself. Tagovailoa didn't just falter, he regressed. And it matters because in the NFL, hesitation is fatal. Quarterbacks at this level are expected to elevate, to find a way when the field narrows and defenses shift. Tua did not find a way. He recoiled, repeated mistakes, and confirmed every fear about his limitations. It's easy to point to statistics and label this a bad game, but numbers only tell part of the story. They cannot capture the deflation that happens when a quarterback cannot process the chaos in front of him, when throws hang in the air too long, or when decisions lag behind the play. That is what Miami saw on Sunday. That is what will haunt them in the games to come if they do not confront the truth. There is a stark reality the Dolphins must face. Tagovailoa, for all his talent and potential, is not the quarterback capable of carrying a franchise through adversity. He has shown glimpses, moments where his accuracy and vision can shine, but these flashes are intermittent and inconsistent, easily overshadowed by bouts of indecision and errors under pressure. A franchise quarterback does not crumble when challenged. He thrives. He does not shrink when the moment escalates. He commands. Tagovailoa did none of these things. And what makes this performance even more concerning is its familiarity. This is not an outlier. It is a pattern that has repeated itself since his early days in the league. Fans have waited for progression, for refinement, for evidence that experience and coaching could transform potential into consistency. Week 1 confirmed that progression has stalled. Miami's hope for a rising star has collided with the reality of a quarterback who is still vulnerable to the very pressures the NFL throws at its leaders. And yet, the implications go beyond a single loss. When a quarterback falters in this way, it reverberates through the entire team. Receivers hesitate on routes, the offensive line feels extra pressure, and the defensive side senses the shift in momentum. Tagovailoa's struggles are not contained. They ripple outward, undermining the rhythm and confidence of the Dolphins as a unit. It raises urgent questions about the team's direction, about personnel decisions, and about the long-term strategy of a franchise that has invested heavily in a player who may never reach the heights they envisioned. Miami can surround him with talent, they can coach tirelessly, and they can hope fervently, but the truth is visible in his play. The hesitation, the lack of arm strength on deep throws, the inability to make decisive reads under duress. They are constants, not anomalies. And as long as they persist, the cycle will repeat. High hopes, brief flashes, inevitable collapse. Sunday was a case study in what has long been whispered but rarely confronted directly. Tagovailoa is not built for the demands of a team's centerpiece. He is a talented player, yes, capable of moments of brilliance. But brilliance alone does not win consistently in the NFL. Reliability, poise, and the ability to elevate the team in high-pressure moments are non-negotiable. On Sunday, Tua did not demonstrate any of these qualities in a meaningful way. The Dolphins now face a critical juncture. They can continue to invest in hope, treating this performance as a bump in the road, or they can acknowledge the reality. Their quarterback situation remains precarious. Until that reckoning occurs, the cycle will continue. Flashes of potential, overshadowed by collapses that reinforce doubt. For fans, this is a bitter pill. The excitement of a new season, the anticipation of growth, is tempered by the reminder that the team's most important position remains a source of uncertainty. Tagovailoa's Week 1 performance was more than a loss. It was a mirror, reflecting the underlying problems that have long plagued the Dolphins' pursuit of a championship. Until those problems are addressed, until the franchise confronts the uncomfortable truth about its quarterback, hope will remain fragile and disappointment inevitable. Sunday was not just a setback. It was a confirmation of what many already suspected. Tua Tagovailoa, for all his promise and potential, remains a work in progress, and in the unforgiving world of the NFL, work in progress is not enough. The Dolphins have a decision to make, and they will need more than wishful thinking to escape the cycle that Week 1 so painfully revealed. Until that moment comes, Tagovailoa will remain less a symbol of leadership and more a reminder of what could have been, a constant, unavoidable reflection of the franchise's ongoing struggles at the game's most critical position. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments. What's your take on the Fins this week? It's official. The NFL world is buzzing, and the rumors have finally crystallized into reality. Calais Campbell, the veteran defensive lineman known for his sheer dominance, experience, and relentless motor, has officially chosen the Miami Dolphins as his next destination. For weeks, whispers were swirling through the league, from locker rooms to media outlets, about where Campbell's next chapter would unfold. And now, the story has settled under the bright lights of South Florida. The Dolphins, a team already brimming with talent on both sides of the ball, have just added a game-changer to their defensive front, and it's safe to say that the atmosphere in Miami just got a lot more electric. Fans have been speculating for months about who could come in and help elevate this defensive line to an elite status, and the answer is as clear as it is exciting. Calais Campbell, a player whose reputation alone can alter the dynamic of any offensive line, has landed in the Sunshine State. Campbell's journey to Miami is a narrative dripping with intrigue and strategy. For a player of his caliber, every decision is measured, every choice a statement. The 37-year-old pass rusher, known for his uncanny ability to disrupt quarterbacks, is stepping into a Dolphins squad that has been steadily building towards contention. Rumors had linked him to multiple franchises, from teams desperate for leadership on the defensive front to squads looking for that veteran presence who can mentor younger stars. Yet, time and again, whispers hinted that Miami had been quietly working behind the scenes, leveraging relationships, demonstrating vision, and ultimately making the most compelling case for Campbell to bring his talents to South Beach. Analysts have pointed out the sheer logic behind this move. A team with a defensive line hungry for identity, a coaching staff known for its strategic ingenuity, and a fan base craving excitement. This is exactly the ecosystem where a player like CALAIS can thrive. And while other teams dangled possibilities, it seems the Dolphins' blend of ambition and opportunity created a magnetic pull that Campbell could not resist. Now, let's talk impact, because the implications of this signing are enormous. Campbell is not just a name, he's a force. A player who, even in his late 30s, possesses the kind of technique, awareness, and physicality that allows him to change the course of a game on any given snap. Imagine the trenches with CALAIS leading the charge. Offensive lines that have faced Miami's front seven in recent seasons now face a nightmare scenario. A veteran whose timing, strength, and intelligence make him almost impossible to neutralize. And it's not just about sacks. Campbell brings the kind of presence that disrupts schemes, forces quarterbacks into hurried decisions, and opens lanes for teammates to exploit. Young players on the Dolphins roster suddenly have the chance to learn from a master, a living textbook of defensive line dominance. It's a mentorship role disguised as a signing, and the benefits are as immediate as they are long-term. The whispers from the locker room already suggest a renewed energy among the defensive ranks. Coaches reportedly have been grinning ear to ear behind closed doors, knowing that they finally have the missing piece to complete a puzzle that has lingered for seasons. And let's be honest, the excitement isn't limited to the field. The buzz around Miami is palpable, from social media threads exploding with fan speculation to sports talk shows debating how Campbell's presence will shift the balance of power in the AFC East. Every training camp session, every preseason snap, will now carry the weight of anticipation, because when a player of CALAIS Campbell's stature signs on the dotted line, the narrative isn't just about football. It's about identity, dominance, and legacy. There's a psychological element here too. Opposing teams, knowing that they have to contend with Campbell, might approach games differently. Offensive coordinators have to rethink protection schemes. Quarterbacks have to adjust their reads, often under pressure that Campbell is uniquely equipped to create. In many ways, he's a domino, and once he falls into position on the line, the ripple effect spreads through every matchup, every game, and potentially every playoff scenario Miami might face. The timing of this signing also cannot be overlooked. The Dolphins, who have shown flashes of brilliance in recent seasons, are a team on the cusp of something bigger. Campbell's addition feels like the final spark, the catalyst that could push them from playoff hopefuls to legitimate Super Bowl contenders. The speculation surrounding the signing was intense. What would his role be? How would he fit with the existing front? And perhaps most importantly, could he still play at the high level we've come to expect? Early reports indicate that Campbell is in peak shape, motivated by the chance to prove that age is just a number and that the hunger for dominance hasn't diminished. Rumors from training sessions suggest he's already taking younger linemen under his wing, demonstrating techniques, breaking down film, and instilling a mentality that could shape Miami's defense for years to come. For fans, this is a dream scenario, the kind of signing that doesn't just make headlines, but fundamentally alters expectations. It's the kind of story that will be told around Miami for seasons. The day CALAIS Campbell chose the Dolphins, and everything changed. Of course, the excitement is mirrored by the questions. How will the team utilize him? Will he anchor the defensive line as a nose tackle in certain formations, or rotate primarily as a pass-rushing force? How will his presence affect the distribution of snaps among younger players who are eager to prove themselves? The truth is, nobody knows for sure yet, and that's part of the thrill. Football is a game of variables, and when you add a player of Campbell's caliber, those variables suddenly multiply. Coaches have options, and the strategic flexibility that Campbell provides is almost unmatched. Analysts have been speculating about potential breakout games, and the whispers are already wild. Could he register double-digit sacks? Could he completely alter the tone of divisional matchups? The potential storylines are endless, and each day of training camp will only feed the growing narrative. For the Dolphins, the sense of optimism is unmistakable. For the rest of the league, it's a moment of calculated concern. Beyond the tactical and strategic, there's a narrative of personal legacy at play. CALAIS Campbell, A player who has long been respected for his professionalism, leadership, and consistent excellence, is now writing the next chapter of a storied career in a city that craves big moments. The whispers surrounding his signing hinted at a desire not just to win, but to leave a mark, to mentor, to inspire, and to dominate in a way that cements a reputation beyond just stats. And the Dolphins, for their part, have positioned themselves as the perfect canvas for that story. The chemistry between a veteran presence and a hungry roster creates a sense of anticipation rarely seen in professional sports. Every pre-game warm-up, every defensive huddle, will carry the weight of expectation as fans, analysts, and opponents alike try to predict the tangible and intangible effects of Campbell's presence on the field. So, while the league officially acknowledges the signing, the true story is unfolding in real time. Training, camp sessions, preseason matchups, and the inevitable first regular season game will tell us just how much impact a player like Calais Campbell can make at this stage in his career. The rumors have solidified into headlines, but the excitement, the speculation, and the whisper of greatness are just beginning. For Miami, this isn't just a signing, it's a statement. A signal to the rest of the NFL that the Dolphins are serious, ambitious, and ready to contend. And for Calais Campbell, it's the opportunity to cement his legacy in a new city, with a new team, and under the intense spotlight that only comes with high stakes and big expectations. As the countdown to the season continues, all eyes are on South Florida. Fans are buzzing, social media is alive with speculation, and the locker room is charged with anticipation. The story of Calais Campbell in a Dolphins uniform is not just about what he will do on the field. It's about the whispers becoming roars, the rumors becoming headlines, and a team reshaping its identity with every snap. One thing is certain, the trenches in Miami will never be the same again, and every opponent better be ready, because Calais Campbell has arrived, and he promises nothing less than domination. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up.